Greetings, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday is the day that Mercury rules, and Mercury is currently in Aries. It recently completed its retrograde. We won't have another Mercury retrograde for another until July, I believe. We'll have another Mercury retrograde in July in the sign of Leo and another fire sign. We've had all of these Mercury retrogrades for the past couple of years in fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And fire signs are about creativity and purity, like purifying yourself, because fire purifies, it cleans everything out so that you can start fresh. And Mercury has been retrograde. Last year's retrogrades were Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This year's retrogrades are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And so last year it was about really cleaning out so that the new creative spark can be activated this year. And so that brings me to the conversation we're having today. We are living in a new reality. The physical form doesn't look different, but the code behind does look different. It's really a mind fuck in a lot of ways. It's really a trip because things look the same, but they aren't the same. The only thing, like when you go to school, you might go to the same school from first grade to 12th grade. And when you go to the first grade, you do that, and then you go to the second grade, the environment looks the same because you're in the same school, the same 3D environment, but what's happening is different. And that's kind of the best way I can explain that we are in this 3D reality and things still look the same, but they are not the same. They are energetic. There has been a deep energetic shift, and that energetic shift will take some time to come into the 3D reality. But it's coming. And those of us who can understand that the 3D reality that we are experiencing is not alive anymore. So not to engage with it in the ways that you would, not to, like, literally. So what I do is I tell myself, before I leave, none of this is real. None of this is real. All I'm doing is moving energy. I'm not connecting stories to these illusions. I literally know that the only thing that's real is the energy behind it. And what I'm tapped into is the energy behind it, which is why I read the astrology, because the astrology tells me what's real. So what I know right now, according to the astrology, we are all moving into our own individual frequencies. Your own codes are going to override those collective conditioned agreements. And so, from my lens, I know that means that relationships, because the South Node was in Libra for 2 years, 6 months ago, which rules relationships. So I know that relationships are changing. Now what happens is the ego mind will go into fighting and, he did that and she did, or they ain't this. And that's just a reaction. That's just a reaction. What's really happening is we are being asked to look at the ways that we have over-related to the other, that we have given ourselves away in ways that wasn't reciprocal. We are being asked to, like, I know for me, I am being asked to not take on other people's stuff just because I understand that they don't get it. And that doesn't mean that I should bear the burden because they are misunderstanding it. Just because I understand the astrology and I understand what people are really going through at a deeper level, and they are caught up in karmic codes and stories and narratives, and I have to just watch. I literally have to just watch. It's like watching people burn. It's very uncomfortable, you all. But it's a part of the process. And if people want support, they can ask me for support, and I can help. But my understanding of what's happening is so far away from what people are telling themselves about what's happening. It's not, none of it is comfortable. None of it is comfortable. It's, it's like, it's really a rock and a hard place. It's like, if I'm going to give you a better solution than what you would choose for yourself, but the solution I give you is not going to be easy. It's not going to be one that you're like, oh, okay. And so we are all coming out of our collective, the ways we have enmeshed ourselves, the ways that we have bent ourselves to fit in, to belong, to participate in families, cultures, relationships, communities, and so forth, so that we can become authentic and then come into community experience from an authentic way of being. And so today is a day for you to really look at your karma. Whatever's going on in your life, don't call anybody else's name. Don't make it be about what they said or they did or they didn't. Literally, say to yourself, I created this. This is for me. What is it that I need to see here? I created this. This is serving me. What is it that will benefit me here? Do not look away by saying that somebody else did something. Even if they did, it's still in your sphere. And if it's triggering you and if it's uncomfortable for you, it is for you. The greatest thing that we can do at this time, which is not an easy thing, I'm so aware that the things that I'm suggesting and offering are not easy things. But if you can do the difficult things, if you can do the difficult things, it will get easier as you build your strength, your system, your fortitude, your resilience, because you will become stronger internally inside of yourself. It's just very interesting watching the relationship stuff, because I'm watching how, okay, I don't even want to go into that, but so the moon is in Gemini, and this is our master nodal class, and the nodes are connected to the moon, and so the moon is in Gemini, and the moon reflects the light of the sun. So the nodes are connected to the moon, which is our inner world, and the moon reflects the light of the sun, which is how we express ourselves. So it's literally this sort of threesome of energy. And so with the moon in Gemini, you want to become aware of the story you're telling yourself about said experiences. The story you're telling yourself about yourself, the story you're telling yourself about others, because the story you tell is what creates the reality. If I say that nigga get on my nerves, he is going to get on my nerves, not because he gets on my, but because I said that nigga get on my nerves. He has to align with my story, because that is how my power works. That's what I'm doing. We have to wake up to how we function. That is how if I say he is an amazing person and I just love being around him all the time, he is going to be an amazing person and I'm going to love being around, because that is how my power works. Everybody's power doesn't work like that the way mine does, but everybody has that power and it works like that in some way. And when the moon is in Gemini, it definitely works that way, because the moon is in the place that governs perception. So if you have some stories that you're telling yourself about yourself or people or your body or your finances or relationships that are creating more angst and frustration and pain in your life, ask yourself, can I tell a new story about this? And if you can't really access a new story, you can say, what is it that I can learn from the story I'm telling? That will shift the energy. What is it that I can learn from the story I'm telling? Oh, I'm telling myself that my mother was this and this and that, and she don't this, and she didn't that, and she didn't that. Okay, I can't change that story yet, but what is it that I can learn from the story? And then you go into that, breaking it down so that you can learn from it, and then it'll open you up into another level of that experience, of that possibility, of that narration that you have created. It'll open up another door to lead you into another play, because this is all a mental reality, you guys. This is all mental. Whatever you're telling the universe it is, the universe is like, okay, your wish is my command. And so, if you're telling the universe, I'm broke, I don't have enough, the universe is like, your wish is my command. And if you can't get yourself into a story of I'm prosperous and I'm abundant, what you can do is say, what am I learning from this story of I'm broke and I don't have my needs met? What is it teaching me? What do I get from it? I know when I move into that story and I go, what is it teaching me? Something about it just feels safe to me. It just feels safe to not be able to have a lot of access. And now I'm seeing that it feels safe because I have a story that people won't like me if I am who I really am meant to be. That people will be attacking me. That people will not be kind to me if I'm really who I truly am on the inside. Because I'm over the top, y'all. Like, I really am. I'm over the top, and I'm too much. Like, I have the story that I'm too much. And so I'm literally asking myself, what would it be if I allowed myself to be the too much? Who's to say that it won't be exactly what's necessary for myself and others, right? Like, really understanding that I'm creating it. I created this is actually empowering. It's hard as fuck, but it ultimately is building that's right. It is so, and especially for a Virgo, Monty, like, because you really did create it. If you're as a Virgo, the more you start to understand astrology and the power of all of these codes, but that Virgo code is in the details. It is in the details. It's like, no, this color needs a little bit more of a lift in it. It's just slightly off. Nobody else can see it, but if you put a little white in it, and then you put a little drop of white, and you're like, yeah, that's it. And the person who put the drop of white in is like, I don't see it at all. That's Virgo. And it's something so particular to the Virgo. And now we have the South Node in Virgo. So everybody is getting a hit of Virgo. Everyone is getting a hit of perfection, measurement, symmetry, everyone. And most people just can't take it. They're just like, it's too confining. But if you have to understand, when a building is built, if it is not built to perfection and measurements, the building will collapse over time. And that's what Virgo is up to. Virgo is up to, like, we're going to make sure this shit lasts because we're going to do it right. We're going to actually make it right. So that's the South Node in Virgo. So what do you need to let go? Like, for me, I know that I need to let go of caring about what people think of me as if they understand my path and how I move through the world and what I am here to do. Literally getting off of my own frequency because I know it's going to make somebody else feel some kind of way. But I am here to make people feel some kind of way. So for me to be attempting to avoid the thing that I'm actually created to do is ludicrous, right? It literally doesn't make sense. But my childhood programming gave me the understanding that if I'm myself, people are going to hate me because I say the thing that no one is willing to say, because I see the thing that others can't see, and because I act upon it, and it makes, so I determined that it was safer for me to put that away. And now, as a grown-ass woman, I am back digging in the closet of my consciousness, pulling out the true myself so that I can practice being it, because I put it away to make others All right. I hope you guys can hear me. Tell me if the sound go out, you guys. Did I lose the sound? Can you hear me? Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Can you give me a heart? Can you give me something if you can't hear me? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, so with the moon in Gemini and the sun in Taurus, this is a degree of, this is a 30-degree energy. And Taurus is your value. So it's important for you to understand your value explicitly so that you don't put it away to make other people comfortable. You know, it's like you can see with your eyes and you are in the company of somebody who feels ugly, right? They move through the world like they feel ugly and they don't want to be seen. And then you would turn your eyesight off to make them feel comfortable because they don't want to be seen, right? Like, we have gifts and abilities that we need that we have not developed, that we don't even know what they are. We don't even know how they're meant to work. We don't even have a clue that got hijacked when we were children because we live in a culture that conditioned us to be what the culture needed. Now that the culture is collapsing, we need to come back and be who we need to be for ourselves, because we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is this energy of your reality is your reality. You're standing next to me, but I'm in a completely different reality than you. We're standing here together, but we're not the same because we have different codes. And everyone is a unique individual. And so your capacity to honor and become yourself is going to be the thing that makes you feel safe and secure in this new world. You being yourself and understanding how that functions is going to make you feel safe and secure. It's going to make you feel like you are aligned. And that's the work that we're up to. So be mindful of the story you're telling about yourself. What story needs to be released? What story is what story is building? What story do you need to give more energy to? What story is asking for more life? and what stories, where can you take some of your energy from that you've been focusing in and give more life? So, you know, for me, I have been really living a life of taking people's perspectives of me seriously. Like, I need to do something about how they feel about me. I need to change. And now I'm going to take my energy away from that and move it into, I actually know who I am and how I'm meant to be here. And if my energy is triggering for others, that is because I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm meant to do. Now, I will need to do something to strengthen myself, because when people are triggered by me, I feel it and I hate it, which is why I've always adjusted my behavior. But now I need to make myself stronger. So I need to make my body stronger. I need to make my senses stronger so that I don't make adjustments to make other people feel comfortable. I need to get stronger in my body physically, like literally, like I literally need to go fucking take Pilates or something. Just so you guys know, I'm really fucking pissed off about it because I don't want to do it. All right. I don't, in this moment, I don't want to go focus on like getting strong. It's so, and right now I feel like a feather. I literally feel like I could just float away. I'm like, ah! Which is why I need to weight myself down with muscle and not with stories or behaviors. I need to weight myself down with muscle and actual matter that is stronger in my body and not with stories of condemning myself. Because condemning stories also weigh me down. Stories of, oh, you did that and they didn't like it. Oh, he said that and you made that. That also weighs me down. But now that I'm letting that go, I'm getting lighter and lighter and lighter. But I'm also becoming more triggered by people's experiences of me. So it's like a boom, 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 boom. So now I gotta fucking take my ass and do some exercise so I can get fucking stronger. Because I already do exercise, but I have to do some exercise that builds strength. Fuck. Okay. So what do you need to do? What do you need to do to build your strength? I don't know what yours is. I need to build strength because I have a Pisces rising. And Pisces is so, I need to have a little weight. If you can just imagine a feather flying through the air with a tiny little weight tied to it. So it doesn't just lift off and go, That's me. Is it a process for you to release that energy when someone pushes their narrative on you? Yes. Yes, I do have to have a process. I do have a process. Yes, I do have a process of when I'm absorbing people's energy. The first thing I do is I take responsibility for it. I look to see where there is oneness. Where is what they're saying true? Where is it triggering me? Because if it doesn't trigger me, it won't matter. If they say something, if they go, you a black nappy-headed bitch, and I go, that's not trigger. But if they go, you're a black nappy-headed bitch, and I go, then I'm triggered. So now I have to go, where is it that I believe this? Where am I in agreement? And then I have to look at it where I'm holding it. Oh, okay, I'm triggered. This is, I remember when I was 6 years old and my mother said, Monique's hair is so hard to deal with. She got that black hair. That's what this is. This is an old code that got coded in me from my mother so then I'm going to go do some rituals on that. Then I'm going to go ritualize that and love myself and heal myself and have a internal conversation with my mother and say, that was really stupid what you said to me, or you know what I mean, or whatever. Like, thank you for that. Like, I'm gonna go back in time and be 6 years old and I'm gonna do the internal work, and then I'm gonna come back and do the healing so that I'm not triggered by that. And now when they say she a nappy-headed black bitch, I'm like, absolutely I am. The nappiest of hair and the blackest of bitches. Thank you. It's a compliment, right? I own it. Okay. I hope that's it, y'all. I love y'all so very much. We are in. If y'all need support, go to my website, healwithmoonmama.com. Book your natal chart readings, your coaching sessions. Yes, we aspire here, y'all. My goodness. We are in a changing world. The world is a projection of our internal reality. We are no longer in this collective experience. We are in our individual core projections. And it's at the messiest time ever. And so the best thing to do is not take things personally, because people are going through it. It's not personal. You're going through it. You're going through it, right? So if you're going through it, others are going through it. And if you cannot take it personally, then we can heal. Then we can, if the ball comes to you, I learned this when I was going through a divorce. Oh, me and my ex used to we just would pass the rage between one another. And I had a practice of when I was like, if something would happen and I would be really angry, I would call a friend and say to my friend, I need to talk about my ex. I don't want to call his name. And this was years ago, just so you guys know, like this was 15 years ago. I need to vent. So I would, hey, Heaven's World, I would call my friend and I'd be like, he said such and such and such, fuck him, da-da-da, that motherfucker, I hate that motherfucker, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the rule was, I got to just go off and she could not be in agreement with me. She could not be like, she couldn't be on my side. She could not be on my side. She couldn't be on his side either. She had to literally just hold while I went off, while I vented. And because I had to get it out, because I was inevitably gonna have to have another conversation with him. And if I was holding the fire from the unfinished thing, the next conversation was gonna then send him back to the fire. And then he was gonna come back and send me to the fire. And then I was gonna go back and send him to the fire. So I would take the fire somewhere else so that we could navigate on behalf of our child. Because what was important was not our petty bullshit that was going on. What was important is that we love our child. And we both wanted our child to be safe, happy, and whole. We just had so much trauma that we couldn't navigate around it. So because I've been studying this stuff for a long time and been in school to be a therapist, and because I was on fire so much, I had to learn how to heal myself. So I would do this practice, which now it's venting, right? And Kenya K. Stevens has actually written a book about it, but I was doing this long before that. So it's important for us to understand that people are going through stuff, that we are going through stuff, deep karmic stuff. Like, stuff is coming up that hasn't been dealt with in hundreds of years. And we are carrying the ancestral codes of that. And all of that, the light, there's so much light coming in from the solar rays that are coming. And so all that light is showing the darkness that hasn't been transmuted into healing and transformation yet. And so people don't know what to do with it. They don't know what it is. They think it's So for those who know, if you know, then you are responsible for knowing. Sidestep it. Get out of the way. Don't put gasoline in it. If you are in your own fury, go do what you need to do to take care of it. Don't give it back to somebody else who doesn't have a clear understanding of what's really going on. Be in spaces and containers where you can be responsible for what's going on. Be responsible for your ascension process, your healing process, your transformation process. Put yourself in places where you can be responsible so that the journey is far more graceful, if you want it to be that way. But if you don't, it's fine. You don't have to. You can burn. Burning is fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have no judgment of it. I burned a lot of years. I burned for many, many, many years. And I remember just burning it. And it was around the time that I met Ricky Williams, the football player, and he's an astrologer. And he looked at my chart and he was like, you got Pluto conjunct your sun, girl. Like, what you doing? And I was like, huh. He's like, you have to find a way to work with this energy on a daily basis that isn't killing you, because you're dying over and over and over again. And I was like, hell yeah, I am. And that's when I really started doing service. I was like, okay, my penance is going to be that I'm going to teach other people so that I'm not under the fire all the time. So that I can literally, it's literally my penance. It's like, let me teach other people so that the fire is not on me. So that I literally am like passing it along. So, it's just, it's like my karma. It really is. It's like, so it is what it is. All right. Okay. I'm just talking now. I love y'all. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Hi, Heaven's World. It's good to see you. Yes, dying daily. It's excruciating though. It's excruciating to die daily. I mean, even the Bible says we die daily, but come on now. Sometimes, like, there are levels to this shit, right? Like, I'm willing to die at like a level 1 or level 2, but I don't want to fucking die every day at like a level 12. That shit is hella no. No. Okay. Thank you. All right, y'all. Hi, Tracy. You just got here. I'm getting ready to go. She said, I don't want to die daily no more. I don't want to live, right? That's right. Okay. Peace and blessings. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.